Hey everybody, I'm Clifford Stumby, the pop song professor, and welcome to my channel where we make English class awesome by talking about song lyrics. And today we're talking about House of Memories by Panic! At the Disco from the Death of a Bachelor album. And fair warning, this song is honestly kind of depressing. Thanks for suggesting it, Teresa. But let me go ahead and set the context here. Most of what I've read on the internet about what this song possibly means suggests that it's about Brendan Urie realizing that marriage isn't all it's cracked up to be. And I see some lines that suggest that theory, but I wonder if maybe this song is more about an ex or a gone relationship that's gone but not forgotten, and him wanting to still be remembered well by it, but the relationship wasn't built on something that could last. I think that might be more of the case. At the very least, it definitely has some warnings about marriage and you know, how you should build a relationship on more than just memories. Before we go any further though, I need to explain to you guys a fancy little concept here, and that fancy little concept is called romanticization. And I talk to my students in IRL about romanticization a lot. Essentially, romanticization is when you take something real and you selectively remember or embellish parts of it so that it's more of what you want to remember. And oftentimes, especially with romanticization, you're remembering something good. You too, through the power of self-delusion, can have good memories. For example, if you went on a picnic with your significant other and you had your little picnic basket and that was nice, and there was this big tree here that was really nice, and you look back on that 5 years from now and you're like, you know what was really fun? It was that picnic we went on. And then your significant other says to you, well, actually, you know, there were ants all over the picnic basket, and the tree was dropping sticks and branches on us the whole time, and then it started to rain. You're like, I don't remember any of that. You romanticized, all right? That basically means you remembered something not as it was actually, but as you wanted to remember it. And that's, you know, it's a basic breakdown of romanticization. House of Memories is about that. And let's go ahead and jump into verse 1. If you're a lover, you should know the lonely moments just get lonelier the longer you're in love than if you were alone. This is very, very sobering. This is basically saying if you're going to love to try to not feel alone and to find somebody else to satisfy your needs, it's not gonna work. Which, you know, is partially accurate. You shouldn't go to love to fix your problems. But also it feels like it's kind of comparing love to like drugs, where you go to get a high and then it's just worse when you come down from the high. I mean, if you're treating love like a drug, I guess that makes sense. Then we hear memories turn into daydreams, become a taboo. I don't want to be afraid. The deeper that I go, it takes my breath away. Soft hearts, electric souls, heart to heart and eyes to eyes. Is this taboo? And you know, maybe that's a little bit about the process of falling in love, but the line we really need to pay attention to is memories turn into daydreams, and that is romanticization to a T. So we're just gonna draw a little Brendan Urie here. He's sitting there, he's remembering, he's got a memory of this girl, and she's looking great, man. She is just looking fantastic. She's never looked better. You know, maybe the event wasn't all that great, maybe it was a little bit awkward, maybe, you know, this didn't actually happen this way. And so he turns this memory into a daydream, and all of a sudden it's like you take a 240 video on YouTube and you turn it into 4K. Boom, all the blemishes, all the mistakes. She was legitimately nice before, but now he's just made it perfect. Memories turn into daydreams through the power of just not remembering very well and self-delusion. Incidentally, that's why it's so bad to idolize people, because you have one really good experience with somebody and you're like, man, that person was incredible. And then you go hang out with them for any legitimate amount of time and you're gonna realize, oh, they're not actually perfect. And that's gonna kind of crush you. So don't idolize people. Then we get into the chorus, we hear, baby, we built this house on memories. Take my picture now, shake it till you see it. And when your fantasies become your legacy, promise me a place in your house of memories. So we've got this beautiful house here. Boom, there's a house, but it's built on memories. And little squiggly lines is what memories look like, I'll have you know. And basically what he's saying is this house, their relationship, was built on memories of things in the past. It wasn't built on the present. So they had some really good times and they were like, You know, those really good times are what our relationship's all about, instead of paying attention to what their relationship was like in the moment. Then we change focus for a second, and now we're kind of talking about, you know, after maybe they've gone their separate ways, if indeed this is about an ex. He's talking about how he wants her, as she builds her own house of memories apart from his, just to remember him. He says, take my picture now, shake it till you see it, and when your fantasies become your legacy, promise me a place in your house of memories. So as you move on and as you continue to romanticize and remember things not as they were, you know, I just want to be part of the memories. I just want to be remembered. He doesn't say how he wants to be remembered, but by, you know, suggesting that her fantasies are going to become her legacy, perhaps he's saying he does want to be remembered exceptionally well. In verse 2 we hear, I think of you from time to time more than I thought I would. You were just too kind and I was too young to know that's all that really matters. I was a fool. This is what makes me think it's probably about an ex relationship. You were just too kind and I was just too young. Too young, too kind for what? Probably for the relationship to actually work out. If this is indeed about their marriage, perhaps when he says, I think of you from time to time, he's thinking of the old her, something like that. And then we get into the bridge. Those thoughts of past lovers, they'll always haunt me. I wish I could believe you'd never wrong me. And that is because those romanticized memories were crushed. She did something that wronged him and now he's sad. And the thoughts of past lovers, I think, is really good evidence that this is about a relationship. So screw you, Genius.com, who is so wrong. And he finishes it up with the most romanticizational thing I've ever heard. Then will you remember me in the same way as I remember you? How is he going to remember her? Like, is he suggesting we both remember each other as having wronged each other? That would be a really healthy way to say it, but you don't write a song about that. So I think he's saying, you know, like, let's remember the good times. Let's make those fantasies our legacies, which is bad. House of Memories is about us as humans and our tendency to remember things not as they were, but as we would like to have remembered them. It's a easy thing to slip into, and to some extent, you can never fully avoid it. But it's important to stick to the truth, to be honest with yourself, to be honest with others, and to be honest with your memories. That's all for now, guys. Thanks for watching. You can check out The Ballad of Mona Lisa in 6 words or fewer. It's kind of a funny video. And then High Hopes critiqued when I got a little bit angry about it. Thanks for watching. Talk to you next time.